over the line? Why are they sending us so many doses, and when do we have to give them back? And did you ask President Biden for any vaccine doses in your call with him today?
Well, I won't comment on I mean, I've gone through the issues that I've raised with President Biden today. The call today was very focused on the issues of Afghanistan, the ANZUS Alliance, the forthcoming Quad meeting and our forthcoming bilateral meetings. Of course, there are the meetings coming up in the United States between the defence and foreign ministers as well, and there's those OSMIN meetings have quite a lead time going into them and the matters we're discussing there. Look, at the end of the day, this is a good deal for Britain and it's a good deal for Australia. And it's a good deal because it makes the most of the doses that they have now, which we need, and the doses that we'll have later that they will need. And so this supports their program when it comes to boosters and other things of that nature. It supports our program now. So this is just a good deal, and it's a good deal between mates. It's a good deal that's been secured because of the very strong relationship that exists, obviously at a prime ministerial level, but also at a ministerial level as well. There is very strong support for the relationship with Australia and the United Kingdom. Saw that firsthand, of course, on many occasions, but when I was recently in Downing Street in the United Kingdom and the issues we worked through there with the free trade agreement and on many other topics. So it's a good deal between mates. It works for both of us, and it means we can double down on what our Pfizer capacity is this month, which brings forward the program, which is great news of hope for people right around the country.
But when do we have to give them back?
Oh, December.
Within remote Indigenous communities, we're seeing vaccination rates as low as 7%. Given this, does a threshold, a target need to be set for our First Nations Australians? Pat Turner has said we should aim for 100%. If we have national targets, shouldn't we be setting targets for our most vulnerable people?
Well, Greg and Paul both might want to comment on this, but I want to stress, within the national plan, there is an acknowledgement of the need to continue to provide targeted initiatives for most vulnerable communities, and obviously Indigenous communities are the most vulnerable. And that has become, a key issue, particularly in the Northern Territory, where it's, and that is such a dominant population within the Northern Territory. And that is something Chief Minister Gunner has been very consistent in raising, not just recently, but over the entire course of the pandemic. So there is an acknowledgement of the need that some parts of the community are going to move more quickly than others when you're having vaccinations. And that means not just for Indigenous communities, but as I said in Parliament this week, there are many disadvantaged communities. There's the homeless community. There are those who have other challenges, life challenges. There are those who, drug-using communities, things like this. There are many, and we've seen that here in the ACT with the nature of the outbreak here. There needs to be an ongoing plan for dealing with disadvantaged communities post 70 and 80% vaccination, because they tend to be the less vaccinated. And we've seen that not just here, but we're seeing it overseas as well. And so that isn't just a plan to get to 70 and 80%. That will continue to be a challenge for all of us post 70 and 80% into the future. And so that is another matter which the Department of Health and the Minister and I have been progressing, and Professor Murphy, and it's something we need to progress together with all the states and territories. But it already has been in so many respects. So yes, I agree with Pat that we need to get those vaccination levels in our Indigenous communities as high as possible, But at the same time, that does not disable us from the whole community being able to move forward under the national plan. And the national plan appreciates that.